Sorry about the bit of the wait there, guys. Welcome everybody to some Tier 2 action for you as we're going into Monza now for round 15 of the season, as we only have 6 more rounds after this to go. The season's actually going quite quick, in my opinion, and today we should be in for a cracker. We've got a few people than last week. We've got 16, which is really nice, with Dave returning to the floor, as we'll go on board with someone worth looking at. As you see, Mystic Man here with a bit of a toe. Expecting pole to probably be a low 19, maybe a little bit more than that, low to mid 19, and then tier 1 will be 18s, pretty sure. As Mystic Man gets all sorts of sideways into turn 1, we'll go to the outboard shot as Borrow backs off as he goes around now to turn number 2 of the La Rosa chicane, braking down around 75 meters, 4th gear all the way through, and don't really know what camera angle is. And now into the first Lesmo, 5th gear in the first and 5th in the second, if you know what you're on about, and keeps it nice and tidy. So now I'm just gonna get a stream link for the guys, and then I can focus on my commentating. Two. So as obviously it's Knuffle has set the first lap, 21.9, and that's been smashed pretty convincingly by Mystic Man. It's a decent opening lap, 20.2. The T1 pole for last season was on F1 2017 was a 19.8, I think, by Fodbold. It was something crazy like that. It was a really good lap. So obviously we're going to beat that pretty convincingly today, as Ben goes second with a 20.4. We're going to go on board with Berra as he starts his lap, as Mocky Meats goes to P3. Alfie's going through the Lesmo, Discar chicane, should I say, and he's not going particularly quick. Where's MVP? He's going through Lesmo 2. As Akil comes into it. So there's no Italians actually on this grid. In tier 1 they're going to be Chuppa Thingy. He's going to be Italian. Well, he is Italian, and his home Grand Prix, and he'll be hoping for a result to be proud of. Anyway, the top 5 would be a very good lap for him. But here goes Knuffle as he comes across the line now, and he is unable to improve on his 21.9. And he's on the medium tyre, so I'll get the tyres up, see where we are. So Knuffle's the fastest of the medium runners, and then there's a few super softs at the top. Yeah, so there's all sorts of different tyre strategies at the minute. It's people on softs as well, which is fairly interesting. Borup goes P5 with a 23, but that's nowhere really in comparison to the top 3. Still waiting for Berra to complete a lap. He did a 22.8 invalidated, so I think he's going to go mediums, unless he's just getting used to the track, as he gets that all wrong. As Mugen improves to 0.1. Justin has gone to Narnia, and he's done a 22.8, and he's B5 at the minute, which suggests there's more in this lap. The top 3 are in the pit, so Knuffle's the next to cross the line, and if he's going 3rd gear into there, then that's probably suggests he's pitting. Apparently not. As he crossed the line to do a 0.1, he actually improved by 8 tenths. As he got half a second off of Mocking Week, so he could probably go a bit quicker as Dusty, just ahead of Knuffle by 4 thousandths to go P4 there. So very close between the Toro Rosso driver and the Sauber. Beautiful looking Sauber, so let's say that. We're still waiting for Barra to complete his lap. He's going a second up on his time he had before, so this will be in close to 21, I'm presuming, as he comes across the line. Let's see where he is compared to Dusty and Knuffle. As he crosses the line, he goes P4, just ahead of Dusty and Knuffle, so it's very close. All within a hundredth of each other, well, a couple of hundredths of each other. Of them three. And then there's everybody else a bit further back. There's Ben Gallagher's gone out on his outlap now. On another set of supers, so I think he's gone aggressive, is Ben. For this, obviously, he's now permanent T2. He doesn't want to race in Tier 1 anymore, unfortunately. He just didn't enjoy it. Which is fair enough. It's a very competitive grid, so I'm not surprised by that. I struggled on it. We've got an incident in Sector 2 and 3. I'm not sure if that's anything of note, but doing 4 laps on these tyres could be quite a lengthy thing, as Knuffle actually comes to finish his lap 5 seconds off the pace. I'm presuming they're going to switch it. I don't think they're going to carry on with these mediums, especially if you're doing this many laps. As Elmo comes in and them soft tyres, something a little bit different into P7. Still waiting for 4 people to set a lap. Packy G is going round. Skin Up's in the pits, obviously. Skin Up has had a number of good results. I think last week wasn't the best. I think he got a podium, if I remember correctly. I can't remember off the top of my head. As I think Edgar's actually out of the session. It wouldn't let me go back up. There's some sort of glitch there. As I think Ben is going around now for his flying lap. So we'll go on board with him. Obviously he's chasing Mystic Mangan at the minute. And there's a little bit more in it for him as of yet. As I think we did have someone improve, I'm pretty sure. I think it was Packy G actually finishing his lap with 22.5. So we're just waiting for everybody to do their best laps rather than just going around feeling the track out, and then we'll see where everybody is after that. Should be a very close race, especially at the front. You see Ben and Mystic Man are particularly close. Mocky Meek's just in behind, and Mocky Meeks is probably the outsider, I think, who could probably win this one. He's got the pace too, in time trial he has, like last week, but he couldn't convert. Same Mystic Man, he got pole and then couldn't convert. He just crashed it into Puon, didn't he, as Ben, using all the track and more, as he comes across the line now, and he's going to improve to 20 flat. So he's improved by a couple of tenths over Mystic Man. The best is still yet to come from these guys. Dusty, I think, will be coming into the pits. Barry's going to go on some super softs, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do on them. Obviously, the championship leader went out and won the last race. A fantastic drive from him. He won by over 20 seconds because of other incidents around him. It started raining and then all sorts of chaos happened. It was quite an exciting race. But further down, Dave's came out, and McKeel and Skin Up has also came out the pits. Ben's going round, he's 3 seconds slower, so I'm presuming that's that for him on them tyres, on this stint. Got Mystic Man. I think he's backed off. Yeah, he's gone to 0 mode. Mocky Mix is going still round, he's not using all his ERS, funnily enough. So maybe he's just holding back. Or he's gave up on the lap. I'm not 100% sure. But Misty Man came round and he was 5 seconds off, so that shows that he gave up. And I think Mocky Meeks is just powering himself up now for a fast one. Although, he does improve to P2 by 300ths, he's not on pole. So I think he cost himself a bit on the straights. So there's a little bit there from Mocky Mix, but he's just off. It's really close to the front. As I think Dusty actually did end up improving to just get ahead of Berra. There's less than a tenth within like 4 people there. Skin Up actually joins that group. They're all in similar paces as Alfie Jensen goes just above them for 20.9. So there's 2/10 between 7th, well 8th, all the way up to 4th at the minute. But I believe the best is yet to come, as Edgar's got a 5th-place grid penalty for a collision with Dave. As we're watching Mystic Man coming around now the final corner. He's 2.5 tenths up, so I'm expecting him to improve on his lap here as he comes across the line, and he does improve, but he's done exactly the same time as Ben Gallagher. So they have all within 3 thousandths of each other. 3 guys within 3 thousandths. And Ben Gallagher's on pole by the virtue of him setting the lap first. That is pretty insane. The Mystic Man should have had pole. I'm pretty 100% as Berra actually goes to pole position there with 19.8 on his first Super Soft run. So he manages to just pull ahead of Ben and Mystic Man, Mocking Weeks, all within a couple of tenths of each other. Well, just over a tenth between them 4. With Skin Up just in behind, but he's yet to do a Super Soft run, so it's not really representative at the minute. Dusty's the man to probably be watching at the minute. He's the next person who could really challenge pole position, who's going to be coming around. Mystic Man, who's letting people through. I thought he ran out of fuel. And then Ben and Mucky Mix are just waiting. And Skin Up was 3/10 up, but he's gave up on his lap. It seems as Dusty actually did improve to... oh no, he didn't. Doesn't matter. Talk a load of bollocks as he comes around to turn 1 now. We're going to stay on board with him throughout this lap as Elmo manages to get ahead of Skin Up by a tenth as we follow in Dusty. Last time out he could have won. He lost it up a Rouge. He says he could have saved it, but he decided not to. I don't know how much to take into that, but he didn't really want the points obviously. As he comes around Lesmo 1 and into Lesmo 2. He's got a car ahead. It's a bit all over the place, but it's a bit too far ahead for him to be bothered about it. We're getting a little bit of slipstream now as he goes into Ascari. Mugen is retired from the session, the first retiree of the qualifying session, and he gets into the Ascari chicane really nice. It just darted into the corner, and on exit it looks like he got a very nice exit as well. No wheel spin. He's trying to get all the slipstream he can off a Mystic Man there to pull him along, to propel him to this pole position into the Parabolica, and it looks like he's got it quite nice as he goes now across the line. Will it be enough for pole position? And it is by 0.4 of a second, and Dusty manages to pull ahead of Berra, and he's retired from session 2. That's all he can do as Ben's now on his out lap, and Mystic Man's getting out of the way, so it's all going to start happening now to who gets this pole, as Dusty set now the benchmark of what he can do. Now it's up to everybody else to be able to improve that level, and Mocky makes Mystic Man, Ben and Berra, the guys that can really do this. I'd like to think Knuffle and Alfie might be able to, but it might be a bit out of reach for them. I said it would be around a mid to low 19, and we're about there as I'm going to go on board with Ben. Didn't look too bad into turn 1, didn't look like the optimal exit that he could possibly get, but it wasn't bad, and it keeps him in contention for now, as Berra I think is going for 1 run and 1 run only, and going into turn 2, well turn 3 and 4 should I say, and now into Lesmo 1. Does it go in as much as Dusty's? It doesn't quite, it understeers slightly, it didn't quite get into the corner, did Ben, and into Lesmo 2 as well. He gets a bit of wheel spin, and I don't quite think, it doesn't look as smooth as Dusty's lap. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look quite as good, although the middle sector is matching his, so maybe Ben Gallagher's the man to be able to displace Dusty and get his first pole position in SLR, as far as I can remember, as he comes around now to the Parabolica, braking 50 metre board, 5th gear, as much power as you like. He was a lot less hesitant than Dusty. Dusty was a lot more, as he comes across the line, takes the shortest run to the line, and he only improves by 17 hundredths, and he's called it. He's backed off, and that's the end of Ben Gallagher's session. And unfortunately for him, he couldn't even get into the 19s, as Berra's taking a shortcut to try and get to the end of the lap. I don't like to see that myself, but here goes Mocky Meeks. I think he's on a lap. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I think he might be on an out lap. But he'll have one more last go at it. He's going to try and clear Justin as he crosses the line. That would be pretty crucial. But he crossed the line now. No, it was an actual lap. He was just a bit down, and he's given up the ghost on that one. So really, the only person who's got a chance, because Mocky Meeks has given up, Ben's given up. They've got Berra and Mystic Man, but I don't know if Berra's going to make it to the line. It's going to be very close. He'll be the last man if he is. We'll keep an eye on Berra as he comes around the parabolica now, and he won't make it to the line. That's the end of Berra's session. So he's bottled it. So the only person really who can do this is Mystic Man, but then again there's Elmo as well. But his first sector isn't sparkling, as Mystic Man does a 26.2, and I don't know how good that really is. Elmo did a similar time, but I don't think that's quick enough. It just isn't going in as quick as Dusty is. He just got it darted in, and it really stuck. But with Mystic Man, it's not quite sticking as well as it would with Dusty. And that was a very good time from him. 3/10, well, just over 3/10 ahead of Berra. And it'd be a great fight into turn 1. I tell you, Berra needs to really get ahead if he's going to win this race. But Mystic Man, coming at the end of this, I'm not ruling him out just yet. As Elmo actually did improve ahead of Mystic Man there. And Mystic Man now coming across the line. I'm not ruling him out as he comes across the line, and he improves to a 19.9. Not quite ahead of Berra, but it gets him ahead of Ben and Elmo. And we've got 4 cars there within a 10th. So very, very close qualifying there, except for probably the fact Dusty smoked everybody in pole. But it was a great lap from him. I don't think he could have done much more, to be honest, than what he did. But yeah. It was a great qualifying from Dusty, and he'll be very happy with that, as he's in the chat, so he looks very happy. As Berra's just in behind with Mystic Man, Ben, and Elmo, and Mocky Meeks. So close in that midfield. Could have made all the difference, especially with Mocky Meeks. There's Alfie and Skin Up, taking 7th and 8th. Just a little bit off. Skin Up choosing the soft tyres, and Knuffle going mediums. And that's fairly interesting, with Dave managing to get himself in the top 10 with not the best of laps, but compared to the bottom of the field, it was okay. So it's all to play for, and certainly the eyes will be watching. The eyes. Yeah, I couldn't really tell you who wins. Obviously Dusty's the favourite, but there's several people in behind that could possibly upset the odds here today. And my bet's obviously on Dusty, but Berra's capable of doing this. Ben is due something like a win, so we'll have to wait and see. Just waiting for the stream to start. As everyone picks their setups, we're just waiting for it. As we're getting underway with the formation lap. So I'm going to run down the grid. Obviously we've got Dusty on pole position in his Sauber. Could have been in the championship fight if he decided to finish at Belgium. But there's still a long way to go. He can still do it if he blitzes the field in the last 6 rounds. But that's what he needed to do, get pole position, get himself in it. Alfie Jensen's the closest fighter for Berra, but Alfie's turned his assist off and it doesn't look like the same driver that he was, let's say, in Austria when he won, and that wasn't very far ago, but doesn't seem like that in Germany and Hungary and Spa. He's just been not on it when he really needed to. With Berra in second, Mystic Man lining up in third place, Ben in fourth, obviously dropping down from T1, as Elmo in fifth, Mocking Weeks in P6 in the Haas. We've got Alfie in seventh, Skin Up, obviously race winner as well, in eighth, Knuffle in ninth on the medium tyres, so I'll get the tyres up for you guys. As you can see, the only person to actually be running the medium is Knuffle, so we'll see how that works out for him. So I'm presuming he's going to be a medium and supers, but I think you can do supers and softs. But don't quote me on that, I don't, I don't have 100%, but I'm pretty sure on this track you can. As we've got a bit of an off there. Packy G and Justin in 12th and 13th. Borob in 14th. Mugan, the T3 champion, who hasn't really done a lot so far this season. To his admission, he probably should be doing better. And Edgar lining up last, which isn't really a surprise with the amount of practice he does at the minute. Obviously he makes music, so he has lots of other things to do as well as racing, as we all are now waiting for everyone to line up on the grid. And obviously good luck everybody. Akil has actually started 11th and he finished 5th in the last race. So what a story that was for him to come through the field. Hopefully we don't get any retirements and we can just have a nice clean race, exciting one. But we never know. It's Monza, it's a slipstream fest, very close action, as the lights have now come on as we go to 5 red lights. And they go out, and MVP Dusty gets off the line rather well as we're looking down into turn 1. Hopefully no contact going into turn 1. Berra is making that move on Dusty now as they're going 3 wide further back with Elmo and Ben and Mystic Man all getting tangled at the back. There's a bit of front wing loss, I think, but Knuffle's gone really aggressive against the 2 Renaults there as Ben slips back into P6 with Mockymix in 7th. I think Knuffle took a bit of a gamble there as he tries to make his way through the field on the mediums. Justin is retired, that's rather predictable. As further forward, we've got a battle here between Berra and MVP Dusty as they're keeping it nice and clean, and Berra's gone right round the outside of Lesmo 1 to make that move stick, and Dusty now has to make a move pretty quickly to get back past Berra. As we go down now into the Ascari chicane, there won't be any moves into there. As we look further back, it looks like Ben has slipped now behind Knuffle. Mockymix has slipped quite far back as well as he made a quite a big mistake. I don't know if he was the one who lost our front wing, but looking further forward, Berra's using all sorts of tactics to try and pull away from Dusty, but Mystic Man is also there with Elmo as these two try to keep up with the front 2, and Knuffle won't be, obviously, on the mediums, and it's up to Ben now to make his move in that Renault, going down into turn 1 now, and it looks like Ben's got the move, but there's a little bit of contact, and it's a miracle he's managed to save that. I think he thought it was clear there, and just a little bit of contact between the 2, and they almost veered off into the wall there. I feared the worst, as Dave has got a 5 second stop and go for speeding the pit lane, so he might be the one who lost his front wing on lap 1, as Elmo's getting all sorts of understeer into that corner, as the front 2 are still at it into Lesmo 1. They're still right with each other as we go now into Ascari for the second time in this race, as there's a few people that have had a few incidents. As you can see, there's a 27-second gap from Packy G to Edgar, so the top 11, and then there's everybody else, the last 4, fortunately, but the top 2 and 3 are having a right ding dong, with Mystic Man being able to keep up with the slipstream, and Elmo as well, but we're looking for Ben trying to catch up as well, so maybe a few squabbles and we could have a 5-way battle here for the lead, but they're all keeping each other's slipstream, keeping it nice At the minute, Berra sets the fastest lap, and he looked to be very, very close on that, as it looks like Mystic Man is starting to close in on Dusty a little bit. So Dusty's struggling, maybe with tyre temps, possibly his Berra sliding all over the place into turn 1, and Mystic Man is trying to close up all over the back. I don't think he'll be able to close enough though, Dusty as well onto the back of Berra into La Rosa chicane, I think it's called. And Berra, oh, there's a little bit of contact there, but they get away with it. Mystic Man's been able to close onto the back of these two. And Berra, at the minute, is hanging onto the lead ahead of Dusty, with Mystic Man just hanging onto the back of the curtails of the both of them. And Elmo isn't a million miles away, as Ben really needs to get a move on if he wants to try and challenge for the race win. As Mystic Man's trying to make a move into the Ascari chicane, and he just about survives. And into the straight after the Ascari chicane, it looks like he's about to make his move as Mystic Man. And here goes Elmo as well, a bit of slipstream, as this is allowing Berra to get away a bit. And round the outside goes Mystic Man, and we can't really see anything, but here goes Mystic Man on MVP, and is still going side by side as we're looking for Elmo, who's got a grandstand view, and we're about to go 3 wide here, as Elmo has got all sorts of slipstream into turn 1. Will he be able to make a double overtake down into turn 1? They're going 3 wide. That is not a good idea, but Elmo has squeezed through. They haven't made the corner. Mystic Man has cut it. I don't know if he got an illegal overtake there. But Elmo has made a fantastic move there to manage to get ahead of Mystic Man and Dusty. Dusty's world has turned upside down here as he goes from 2nd to 4th in what was a straight there. Unfortunately for him, he just got slipstream fest. But it took a lot of energy out of Mystic Man and Elmo there, as Berra is trying to just get a gap here, and as soon as Berra gets away, then he's probably going to end up winning the race. But it's all to play for yet, as this is bringing Ben Gallagher a little bit here, as he's within 7/10 of Dusty, and Dusty is within a second of Mystic Man as well. So we're all together at the minute. We're just waiting for something to happen, as Knuffle has slipped behind Alfie Jensen, who's made a move on him. But here goes Mystic Man on Elmo. He knows he has to make this move. Mystic Man has the pace, really, to get the lot of him, as Elmo's actually closing in on Berra. I don't know if Berra's made a slight mistake there. He's gained like 3 or 4 tenths on Berra this lap, as Elmo. So maybe Mystic Man might be able to make that move, but Elmo, crucially, has that DRS on Berra, keeping Berra in range so far, as Ben's within half second of Dusty. Dusty's dropping like a stone from pole position, as Edgar and Mockingweeks, as Mockingweeks actually changes his front wing, so he's had a bit of damage. Going for them soft tyres. I don't know if they can take him to the end, but he's going to attempt it, as we've got yellow flags, and it might have been, I don't know who that was for. It was in sector 2. Might be further through the field, as Elmo's really struggling in the Lesmos so far, as Mystic Man should now be in prime position to make a move into the Ascari chicane with DRS, as Elmo's dropped out of the DRS, and now he should be able to make that move stick now into the Ascari chicane round the outside, and he makes that move stick. Can he be able to carry the speed through the second part of Ascari? It looks like he won't, because look at Elmo. He's slipstreaming back to Mystic Man, and it looks like he's going to make that move back on Mystic Man as he goes round the outside, and Elmo's on the inside, very close from the two. Very respectful racing as Mystic Man goes all sorts of wide there, and it looks like Elmo's going to get him back here into turn 1, and Elmo in the Renault should be flying right back past again as they're slipstreaming each other here, as Elmo looked like he ran deep, but he managed to get stopped as Dusty's just trying to keep with these two. Berra's pulling away slightly, so maybe an undercut might be the way to go here as the tyres start to drop off slightly to be able to catch Berra. Maybe get a few more tenths out of the tyres, because the undercut is very useful around this track. It's just about picking your moments as Dusty picks up his first penalty of the race, but these two are not giving it up without a fight, as Berra's just trying to sneak away Further down the field, nothing's really happening. Skinup's managed to get ahead of Mugen. He's trying to catch up to Knuffle on the mediums, only a medium runner. Trying to go long in the race. He will take the lead, but to be fair, there isn't massive gaps. Yeah, 1.5 seconds. That isn't massive as Elmo runs wide, trying to carry as much speed as he can. I can't help but think that Mystic Man probably will get him, but he will have to reserve a bit of the ERS, as Berra's actually been saving. That's probably why he's just chilling out in front, trying to save his ERS for later on in the race, as Elmo looked like he was going to dive into the pits there for a second, but doesn't, as Elmo actually sets the fastest lap of the race to try and catch up to Berry. Mystic Man, if he's smart, will just stick him behind Elmo, just try and keep up, because Elmo's the fastest person on track at the minute. So catching Berry won't be a problem, apparently, for Elmo anyway. It's just about being able to retain that concentration and the speed throughout the apexes and see if he can be able to catch up to the front man at the minute, because it's very close between these three. And then it's a little bit spread out with Dusty, as we've got an incident in sector 3. I don't know quite who that is. And it's Borobin last, as he's been disqualified for driving the wrong way. Bless him. As Mystic Man now is looking for another move on Elmo down the inside into the Sky Chicane. Is he going to commit? It looks like he is, but I don't think Elmo fought it particularly hard, as he's looking for the exit. And these two are just trying to help each other, trying to get better, but they've dropped back on this lap. So maybe the undercut might work this time round, as it looks like Elmo's going to track down the inside of the Parabolica. It should be fairly simple for him. But then again, the slipstream might be the best way, as they're still going side by side. Is any of them going to pit? It's going to be Elmo. And I talked about this, the undercut, and Elmo's pulled the trigger on that one. And Mystic Man will either have to pull something out of his arse or come into the pits. Because Elmo has called what I've just said. Maybe he's listening to the stream, I'm not sure. Maybe he's thought about it, and that's the best way to go. I've watched a few races around this track, and the undercut is definitely a good strategy to go with, as Alfie's actually closing in on Ben Gallagher. So Alfie's showing a bit of a turn of pace at the minute. Ben and MVP Dusty are struggling a little, especially Ben at the minute. I mean, look, he's all over the show. As it looks like he may have overheated his tyres, because Alfie is showing a lot of confidence in his car at the minute. Elmo's come out behind Edgar, about 14 seconds out of mocking weeks, so he'll be hoping to clear Edgar very quickly indeed. He's gone onto the medium tyres, funnily enough, as Mystic Man picks up a penalty, and that could be fairly crucial, as Dusty's actually got a penalty as well at this point in the race, so that rules that one out. But I wonder if Barra will come into the pits this time around, as he comes around the final corner now. He's got the rev limiter glitch. He doesn't come into this. Mystic Man doesn't come into the pits either. Maybe they're trying to go soft tyres from like lap 12 or something. So something along those lines, instead of going the medium Elmo route. But Elmo will probably jump them. As we'll have a look what the gap is to leader. Elmo's is about 26 seconds. I can't help but think that the pit lane's not that long. As it's going up at the minute. And down a bit, I don't know. It's very close to what we think. I thought the pit lane was around 22, 23. So maybe he's lost out slightly, I'm not sure. But Ben has been overtaken by Alpha Jensen, so maybe it's time for Ben to come into the pits, as he's now at the back of this train. As he's dropped back about 3 or 4 seconds actually. It's more Ben dropping back rather than Alpha catching up. There's Skin Up is the next person to be getting Ben. He's about 6 seconds back after he had a bit of a mare at the start. But Mystic Man is struggling a bit, because Dusty is closing now on him. And it's about a second, just over a second, and the gap between Mystic Man and Berra is just over a second, as Berra seems to be just struggling a tad. As I'll look at the gap again, the gap is about 27.7 now, so he's lost time this lap as Elmo. It looks like he might have gone with the wrong strategy call on this one, as Ben gets a 5-second stop and goes speeding in the pit lane, trying to get Alfie. So this is a pit lane battle, so we'll see how they do. We'll see if anyone gets jumped. Oh! As oh, I thought Ben drove into the Toro Rosso pit garage then. Funnily enough, as Knuffles on the back of Skin Up now. 4 attempts between the two. Elmo has jumped Ben by about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. As Skin Up is making a move on Knuffle. There's a bit of front wind damage on now. Knuffle's car is they go side by side, and into Lesmo 1. This is not a good idea, but they managed to keep it out of the wall. As Skin Up seems to have got the place on Knuffle there on them soft tyres, but I think Knuffle's the one who was the faster. But I don't know how much front wing he's lost. I don't think he has. I don't think either has, actually. Maybe I called it wrong there. As Mystic Man has gained a certain amount of, a lot of on Berry. Berry's going to come into the pits, and rightly so, as he's really struggling now. And I'm presuming he'll go into them soft tyres. MVP follows, so Mystic Man leads the race with Berra coming in now. Will he get hold up by Dusty? No, not really. I think Dusty just went past. And again, I've got that glitch where there's no one in the garage, but that's really weird. I don't quite understand that. But where's Elmo in all this? He's coming down the straight, and Dusty's coming out the pits, so Elmo's lost out to Dusty. Dusty's there, just ahead of Muggin, hopefully, for him, and unfortunately not, actually. As Muggin cuts the corner, but Dusty will get past Muggin. So Elmo now has to get past Muggin. We've got these three all together, really. And it'd be interesting when Mystic Man comes out in all this. As Elmo's gone on the mediums, obviously, Berra, and Dusty's gone on the soft. So he's at a disadvantage here, Elmo. Tried to do the undercut. Didn't quite work out for him, unfortunately. Elmo picks up another penalty. Or that might be his first, I'm not sure. But the person who really we have to watch is Mystic Man. We'll check penalties on Berra. Berra's actually picked up one, and so has Mystic Man, so they're all together on this one. As Skin Up's actually managed to get ahead of Knuffle again, as these two are providing quite a battle here, as he forces him pretty much off the track there, just Knuffle, but Mystic Man, not Mystic Man, Skin Up is not leaving without a fight, as he's weaving behind. As a Mystic Man comes into the pits, I thought that was 5 seconds up and go there, but it's just Ben Gallagher picking up another penalty, racking them up, as Mystic Man comes into the pits, and he's onto the soft tyres. And where is the leaders in all this? As Berra's coming down the front straight now, Mystic Man coming out the pits, and it looks like it's going to be very close. I think Berra's just about going to get it on pace. But he gets ahead of Dusty there, and the gap probably is around the same as he shot himself into the braking zone. And Mystic Man's actually gained a little bit, I think. He has. It's within a couple of tenths now. He gained around 3 or 4 tenths in the pit stops there. So maybe this might be the making of Mystic Man's race. Maybe he can go on to win. He's fairly quick around this track. He's a Finn in the McLaren. Obviously, was reminiscent of Mika Hakkinen back in the day, but will Mystic Man be able to make something happen? It keeps Dusty in contention as well. It keeps the car between him and Berra, so he's got DRS as well. And to be fair, Elmo is not a million miles behind. I mean, 1.2 seconds, but it's there for the taking for Mystic Man to get revenge from last week. I'm assuming he'll be working very hard in the week to try and prepare for this race and make sure that he can make up from his mistakes of last time out. As he's now in the slipstream trying to close in on Berra, but it's a lot closer than it was quite a while ago. Berra's got slightly more ERS, but not a lot more, as Mystic Man opens the DRS. Dusty hasn't actually got DRS, so he's just dropped outside of it. So really, I think it might be between Berra and Mystic Man here for the win, as obviously the Finn and the Dutchman. Mystic Man obviously using no assist. Berra does use ABS, but he's still a very capable driver without it. I don't think it makes much of a difference for him. He just doesn't have time for the practice. As Mystic Man setting purple sectors. trying to get Berra, as Berra's had a poor exit out of the La Rosa chicane. It's come down now to around 0.3 of a second, but I think as soon as Mystic Man gets past Berra, Berra has the same advantage that Mystic Man's having. So it's all to play for with 14 laps to go here, as it looks like Mystic Man is about to make his move fairly shortly on the Sauber driver. It's only a matter of time. 0.7 is the gap. And well, 0.5 now, as he probably will have a nice exit onto the straight and get a bit of slipstream. Berra's weaving a bit, trying to break it a bit, but Mystic Man's having none of it. With a bit of DRS and a bit of slipstream, he'll be right there with Berra. But obviously Berra will get the exit speed slightly. But it matters a jot, it seems, as we go down now into turn 1 of Mystic Man closing all the time. It doesn't look like he's going to close enough on this occasion. The McLaren, as we'll keep an eye on this battle for the lead, with Dusty just in behind, with Elmo dropping a bit now, Ben in a comfortable 6th, and Alfie in 7th. Mocky Weeks has had a disappointing start, to be honest. I always expect him to do a little bit more than he is, but he just doesn't quite seem to be there at the minute. Maybe it's mentally, maybe it's just concentration or silly mistakes. Who knows? But Knuffle, actually, who hasn't pit on the mediums, is going to play a part in this battle, and it's going to give Berra a bit of DRS. So this isn't going to do Mystic Man any good. So I wonder if Knuffle's going to pit or not. But he's holding up Berra. But unfortunately for Mystic Man, he's just understeered. And otherwise he'd have been right on the back of the Mercedes there. But unfortunately for him, he'll have to wait, as it looks like Berra's going to clear him very quickly. But Mystic Man goes deep to try and get the exit, because he knows Knuffle will be slow. He's got to try and get him. On this occasion, you see Berra has got him, but here comes a double slipstream from Mystic Man. He goes around the outside of Knuffle. Will he try it on Berra? And it doesn't look like he's that close, unfortunately for him. But as Berra, oh, he's locked up into the braking zone. This is Mystic Man's chance, side by side on the exit of the first chicane there, and it looks like Berra's just about survived, as he struggled on the brakes to get it slowed down with a bit of DRS. And he just about got it stopped for him, and into the second chicane. It looks like he's really struggling now. This is Mystic Man's chance. He has to make a move, it seems, very shortly, as going into Lesmo 1 and now into Lesmo 2, as the Finn is trying to close in on Berra now, going with a bit of slipstream under the Enrad boards, and going down into turn 1. Mystic Man with a bit of DRS. Will he dive it down the inside of Ascari? He looked at it, but Mystic Man's picked up a penalty by looking at it, and he has to make that move now, and it looks like he will, as going down now into the Parabolica. It looks like Mystic Man has taken the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, going into the Parabolica now, but Berra will pick up an almighty DRS on Mystic Man, so this is far from over, as going down into turn 1 again, as I'm starting to lose my voice, as Berra now goes to the outside of turn 1. Who breaks later? Let's have a look. Going into turn 1, it looks like Berra is just about got ahead. Mystic Man keeps it respectful, and it's Berra that retakes the lead of this race, with Mystic Man sticking in behind him. We've got MVP swamping Knuffle, it seems, on the mediums, as he runs a little bit on the grass, and he manages to get that place. But in the lead, it's all to play for with 11 laps to go, and this is going to the end, guys, so keep in tune to see who wins this one. Will it be the Dutchman, will it be the McLaren, or will they come together and be none of them? We don't know. It's all to play for. As I'm starting to lose my voice, so I've got to calm down a little bit, as Dusty's not 100% behind, well, a lot behind on Mystic Man at the minute, but Mystic Man will get the exit like last lap, but this time he'll probably do it to turn 1 rather than to the Parabolica if he's smart, but he's going to make Berra a little bit worried, as he could probably back out and take it nice and steady round the outside, and going into turn 1 he will have a bit of DRS and a bit of slipstream, and he should be able to make that move. As you can see now, Berra taking the inside line, trying to take it away from Mystic Man, but then he's going to the outside, trying to make him go the long way around, but Mystic Man, with the superior straight line speed, gets it as Berra dives down the inside to try and keep the position, as Mystic Man closes the door on Berra, and it's Mystic Man that takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix legitimately. But for how long for? Because Berra will be keeping up, and Dusty's joining this battle to make it a three-way fight for the lead. As now Berra dives it down into the second chicane. Mystic Man locks up. Oh, it's very close, but Berra retakes the lead fantastically. And this is allowing MVP all their time to close up. But it looks like Berra has taken the lead of the Italian Grand Prix yet again. And words can't express what this battle is doing for my heart rate. But that was extremely close. They're battling really hard. But it's not doing the tyres any good. But Mystic Man on them slightly fresher, soft tyres is going to try and make that move yet again into the Parabolica. It's just a slipstream fest, and there's Dusty in all this. So he's got a great view of all this. With Mystic Man going around the outside, Dusty can go deep into the corner and get a bit of slipstream. This is coming a freeway battle. Dusty can win this race, and he was a couple of seconds back. He's dropped Elmo, so he's gone out of this. So it's a three-way battle for the lead. Here goes Mystic Man and Berra, and here goes Dusty. As I've lost the battle, he goes right around the outside. He's gone from first to third, and I think Berra's just cut the corner out of shitting himself, I think. As Mystic Man has lost it. And Mystic Man now is out of the running for this race, it seems, as now it's between Berra and MVP. Unfortunately for Mystic Man, he's just going to drop out of it. But Berra, very aggressive, but Dusty now round the outside of the chicane, like on Berra in the last lap, and MVP Dusty out of nowhere has taken the lead that he truly deserved from the start, from pole position, and he's back in the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. And Mystic Man actually isn't dropped that far back. I thought he dropped 2 or 3 seconds back, but it seems like them going side by side is allowing Mystic Man to close back up again. So it's far from over. As Mystic Man picks up another penalty. We'll check on the penalty situation, but it probably drops Mystic Man out of contention. As now he's got 3 penalties on this lap, as Berra's got 2, and MVP has also got 2. So it's not all over just yet, as Berra is now all over the show, as Dusty is trying to get away. I think he's looked after his tyres so much more better than Berra, but maybe it's a good thing for Berra to just let Mystic Man go and try and catch up to Dusty, and hopefully he can get a bit of slipstream and make this a bit of a tussle at the end of the race, as we've got 8 laps, thrilling laps to go. It's anybody's win between these 3. As further back we've got a bit of battle between the 2 Renault drivers, and also we've got Mockimix pitting again on them softs, Knuffle setting the fastest lap, and Elmo and Ben, and then we've got the lead battle as well. It's all happening at the end between the top 5 at the minute, as Dusty, it seems, is starting to go away from Mystic Man, but we know it doesn't last very long. All you need is one bad exit, and that's it. But this is turned around. It was 1, 2, 3, and it's still 1, 2, 3, but in the different order than it was in the first stint. And Dusty now is getting up the road a little bit, as I think my phone has died. Not quite, but Dusty is leading by about a second from Berra, who's about a second behind Mystic Man, in fact, should I say, because they're trying to make a bit of a battle for it. But it looks like Dusty is going to get this win. Obviously making 3 wide into turn 1 was a bit crazy, but somehow they're still all alive. Don't know if Berra's actually lost a bit of his front wing. I don't think he has. I thought he might have done, as Dusty looked like he locked up there, but managed to make the apex. Berra's going really slow into there, with Ben and then Elmo going for the lunge, and just about gets away with it. And Berra is now really dropped back. I mean, really dropped back from the front 2, so maybe that rules him out. I'm not 100% sure. As we'll look at the intervals, so it's 3 seconds between him and the leader, and he was the leader at one point, but he kind of bricked it into the braking zone into turn 1 and his tyres might have overheated. But there's a battle further back here between the two Renaults. But it looks like Ben is holding on for P4 at the minute, with 7 or 8 laps to go now of this Italian Grand Prix, and it's been an absolute cracker, I've got to say. Between these guys, they've put up a real good fight and a real good race. Hopefully you guys see it exactly the same as I do. It's been a pleasure commentating this one, and obviously we'll be back later, me and Owen, for T1 action, same as last week at Monza, and Golf Tech and Thorium will return to have a challenging service, so that should be an absolute cracker itself, as we should have close to a full grid on that one as well. But yeah, we've still got 13 drivers in this race. Muggins closed in on Edgar for the final points finish, and Knuffles closed in on Skin Up. So we'll look further down the field as soon as the gaps are starting to grow a bit. As we're looking at Knuffle now, looking at P7 and Skin Up into turn 1. I think he might be just slightly too far back, but I think he's going to dive it anyway, late on the brakes, and I think he manages to get it stopped. There he does. Knuffle on them new supers. I don't know if he can get them to the end. 4 laps, then he's got another 6 or 7, 11 laps on supers. They'll be dead at the end, let's put it that way. But he'll be making some real inroads, especially on Alfie. They might be able to get Alfie Jensen. Elmo might be a bit out of reach for him, well it will be, unfortunately. But yeah, but Mystic Man, Barrett and Dusty all within 3 seconds of each other, just waiting for something to happen there. I'm thinking that it probably won't now, but Mystic Man's closed in a little bit on this lap on Dusty. Don't know if he's saving, so we'll go on board with Muggin. Looking at Edgar, going into the chicane. Rather slowly, I must admit, but it doesn't look like he's going to be making the move just yet. Skin Up is actually looking at Knuffle again. I've just seen the gap being really close. We're in the 10th, and Knuffle's actually gone backwards behind Skin Up. So I don't know if he's made a mistake, but this lap isn't a particularly great one. It's about 2 seconds off his fastest. So not a great lap from Knuffle, and that's probably why Skin Up's gone straight back past. And that was too late from Knuffle, unfortunately for him. But I think Skin Up showed a bit more, too much respect there. But Knuffle manages to get back past. But the gap between the leaders is around 2 seconds. It's been like that all race, with Berra about 1.4 behind Mystic Man. So they can all see each other, but for Berra, I think that the race is over for him in terms of the win. Obviously, Dusty's 1 away from another penalty, but so is Mystic Man, who's got 3 already, and Berra has picked up 2 penalties. So, to be fair, penalties could decide this race. We don't know yet. Skin Up and Knuffle are still at it into Ascari this time. Very close. Knuffle showing not much to respect there for Skin Up on there, but they got through it okay. But for Knuffle, unfortunately, he's not going to have any choice but to give up the position, because Skin Up's going to have the slipstream and the DRS here, and he's in 2/10 of him. So that's the end of this for him as far as he's concerned for now. With a bit of DRS, and he should fly straight past should the Force India driver, but Knuffle's not going to go down without a fight. Round the outside, gets it stopped, and manages to get the position. But Ben's picked up another penalty. We checked the battle for 4th, 5th here with the penalty situation. Ben's picked up 4 penalties now, and Elmo's only picked up 1. So Elmo's in prime position to get that 4th place ahead of his teammate. The gap's starting to spread out in the lead a little bit. Mystic Man's picked up another penalty. If he's not careful, he'll drop down to 3rd. And he's driven a magnificent race. I've got to say, Mystic Man is unlucky not to be winning this. So unlucky. If Berra wouldn't have locked up into turn 1 and then him as well, then it could have been so much different. As oh, Elmo has crashed. That's the Ascari chicane, I'm presuming, and there goes Alfie Jensen. So Ben has pretty much got that 3rd, 4th place now. and that spaces everything out. He's lost all of his front wing as well as the Renault driver, so he'll be coming into the pits with super soft, so I'll drop him right back down as Skin Up and Knuffle still having it out a bit. As there we go, Elmo gets 5 seconds stop and go with Fury, but here goes Skin Up on Knuffle again. Will he be able to get it this time, or will Knuffle be able to brake later? It looks like Skin Up's actually managed to go aggressive enough this time. He's decided to go a no-nonsense approach and just get the position back on Knuffle, and that should be the end of that one. Mystic Man's actually dropped back quite a bit from Dusty now, as Berra looks to be closing now, nearly within a second of Mystic Man, so this battle could resume yet before the end of this race, but yeah, it seems to be dying out slightly now. As Knuffle has not given up on Skin Up. Going round the outside is Knuffle on Skin Up with the DRS, so he should get a bit of extra straight line speed, as that's a fantastic camera angle, as they're now going into turn Ascari, and it looks like Knuffle has managed to get that position back on Skin Up on that occasion, as Skin Up now is looking back at Knuffle, possibly into turn 1, with 4 laps to go now of this Grand Prix, as it looks like Dusty's going to claim a fantastic win for him, a move where it took him third to first, and it's a move that made him win this race. But here goes the battle for Knuffle and Skin Up, as Skin Up manages to get the position. Knuffle actually sticks in behind this time, doesn't try anything let's say obscenely wrong on this occasion, or it's obscene, let's say, down the inside, chucking it from way back. But this battle's far from over, with just the 3 laps now to the end of the race. If Berra wants to make his move on Mystic Man, he's got not very long to do it. He doesn't know about Mystic Man's penalties, obviously. He's got about 10 seconds worth, well, 9-10 seconds worth. Well, I think he's got more than that. Mystic Man has picked up 4 penalties. Dusty's picked up 2, and only 2 for Berra, but he's 1 away from a penalty. Yeah, could make all the difference these last couple of laps. Skin Up is looking at Knuffle yet again as they go down into the Parabolica. Late braking, 4th gear again, it turned in, and it looks like Skin Up's got it on this occasion, but then again Knuffle's got DRS, so he'll probably fly back past. I'm surprised they're not using that inside bit where the F1 logos are, because that's sort of part of the track I'd be using to get the inside line. As it looks like Knuffle has got straight back past Skin Up this time round. These two, both tyres are both going off. Probably Knuffle's more than Skin Up's at this point. But with 2 laps to go, it's looking unlikely that the lead is going to change. MVP should be all proud of what they've done with their performances today, and Berra, for him it means more championship points, but Dusty with the win closes the gap a little bit for him, but Berra can't be too much complaints from him. He overheated the tyres quite early on, and he's managed to bring them back into range recently, but yeah, that period really cost him the race. But then again, Mystic Man could have run the race, and now Dusty's winning the race. I thought Dusty was out of it at one point, and it looks like Skin Up's going to go again. I think Mocking Weeks has actually started to join this fight on fresh super, well, not fresh supers. As we're going on to last lap, as Dusty in his Sauber looks to have this one, as Knuffle and Skin Up looks to be going straight to the line as MVP picks up his penalty, but that doesn't really matter at this point, as it looks like Skin Up has got that move for the last time into the chicane. It's all about now who can get better exits, as Mocking Mix is going to try and make this a little bit more interesting than it looks, as Knuffle into the La Rosa chicane now. Will he be able to make a move? Doesn't look like it. We're going to go close to the front of the field as we're looking at MVP Dusty as he's now looking at claiming a win here in front of the Italian car, the Alfa Romeo Sauber. So basically it is Italian anyway, but here goes Dusty coming around the final corner, and he's going to win the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, and he'll be chuffed to bits with that one, with Berra coming home in second, Mystic Man third, and Ben Gallagher is going to come home getting a unstirred stop and go 5-second time penalty. So that's the end of that, as Knuffle, Skid Up and Mocking Weeks are all still in this fight, and it looks like Skid Up's going to get that position ahead of Knuffle, but Knuffle's got a load of penalties, which means Mocking Weeks actually gets that position ahead of Knuffle, and it looks like Skin Up is just 3/10 behind Alpha Jensen actually, so not bad from Skin Up from where he was. But the man of the hour is Dusty on this occasion. Elmo claims a disappointing P9 after he had the pace to be up there with the top three, and unfortunately he just dropped back and then got frustrated, I think, and ended up in the wall on that time, with Morgan claiming actually it was a lot closer than I thought it was. Berra's actually only 2/10 off of Dusty in the end, so I don't know what happened. Did Dusty pick up a different type of penalty? 1, 2, 3. Oh, Berra only got 2 penalties. I thought he picked up 3. So only 2/10 separated Dusty and Berra in the end. So that's a really close finish. And Dusty just did enough there to hold off Berra. So Berra could count himself a little bit unfortunate there, but the right man won in my eyes, as the Alfa Romeo team will be absolutely ecstatic that he managed to get that one across the line. Mystic Man, it cuts what could have been for Mystic Man on that one. Same with in Spa, so the win's coming for him. It's just a matter of time, I think, for him. Just a bit more experience of being in leagues of races, and he surely should be able to get a few wins by the end of the season. But Dusty and Berra being on the podium, it's alright, 3 on the podium for sure, and it was a fantastic race, I'm not going to lie. And it was a pleasure to be commentating for you guys. So later on, 8:15, I'll be back with Owen for the T1 action, and I'm really excited for that one. We've got some really great battles with the likes of Thorium and Surface, and so many others, CYP and the midfield as well. So it should be an amazing fight in Tier 1, just like this one. It's a great race. Thank you for everybody who's got involved, everyone in the chat, everyone that were watching. We had 17 viewers at some point, which is an amazing thing for Tier 2. And yeah, thank you to the drivers for putting a fantastic race on, and I'll see you guys in a little while. Peace. Wow. Wowie, 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 wow.